Did you know that you can start a multi-six-figure office cleaning business with less than $300 in your bank account? Well, it's true. I'm living proof of that, and in this video, I'm going to show you how I did it. But first, play that intro. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mike Mack, and if this is your first time here, I help people start and grow wildly profitable office cleaning businesses. And on this video, I'm going to show you how I started mine with less than $300 in my bank account. So be sure to hit that subscribe button because I put out new videos every single week. Okay, so if you're new to the channel and you've never heard my story before, I was working a miserable job that just, on paper it was supposed to be a job I was supposed to love. I mean, benefits, I think it was like $18 an hour, for which at the time I thought that was amazing money, even though I couldn't afford to have a car and an apartment at the same time. I was, but I was miserable. And the thing about it is I was told from people in my circle that you need to stay at this job because it's an amazing job. So imagine the conundrum. I'm at what's called an amazing job, or a really good job at least. Maybe not amazing, but I had everything. I had the benefits, I had the 401k, all of that thing working in my favor, that maybe I just needed to change how I was looking at it. And now believe me, I tried. I'm very positive. I've read all the books on changing how you look at different things to, maybe you'll be happier. Well, guess what? I was still miserable. And it wasn't because of how I was looking at the job. It was because the job, the place I worked, the people I worked for, they just did not respect us, and it was not a fun situation. So one day I hit a breaking point and I said, the heck with this place. I'm definitely not going to stay here and be disrespected. I don't care what I have to give up. I will find something, I want to work for myself. I will find an opportunity that will allow me to take care of myself, my family, and not be disrespected in the process. Was that so much to ask for? The only problem was I didn't have a backup plan. After the adrenaline of quitting your day job with no backup plan finally wore off, anxiety went through the roof. It was at that point Jess and I decided, why don't we go back to what we know? Start an office cleaning business. See, our first office cleaning business was not independent, it was a franchise. We were successful financially with it, but we were doing the majority of the cleaning. And the people we had as employees were some buddies, some friends looking for some beer money. There was nowhere a way to grow. See, once we hit a ceiling, we were basically employees. This time we decided, we're going to go independent. We're going to take everything we've learned from all the courses on marketing and we're going to take all that stuff and we're going to pour it into our office cleaning business. This time, we're just going for it. The only problem was we only had $300 left in my bank account. In actuality, I really only had like $290 in my bank account. So we were all in at that point. We knew because of what we learned that we could turn this into a profitable business. After all we needed was one client to get the momentum rolling, and then 2 clients, and then 3 clients, and then 4 clients. So I'm going to give you the 3 biggest tips to start your office cleaning business with less than $300. Tip number 1, do not compete. Make yourself a unicorn. Now, what does that mean? Well, if you know what a unicorn is well, to be quite honestly, I don't really know that much what a unicorn is. It looks like a white and purple horse with like a horn sticking out of his head. But the point of it is it looks nothing like a typical horse. And if you make yourself a unicorn, you tend to stand out. Now, if your potential client is driving in your market and they're seeing a bunch of horses, right? They see big, beautiful horses of all colors. But then they see a unicorn. Which one is going to draw more attention? The obvious answer is the unicorn, because it looks nothing like the rest. Now, when we were working with the budget of $300, we couldn't compete. I couldn't compete on Facebook ads. I couldn't compete. I couldn't start SEO. I couldn't have sent all these postcards. I couldn't afford any of those campaigns, because remember, with that budget, built into that budget, I also had to buy the initial equipment needed, like a vacuum and cleaning products and things like that. So I really wasn't working with much. We had to make ourselves a unicorn by picking a company name that spoke directly to the people we were going after, niching down to a certain amount, so we were only talking to a select few while other cleaning businesses are talking to everybody. We were just talking to schools in the beginning. We named our company after something that we thought would be attractive to our potential clients. Things like that really made the difference. Our company message, our everything was about them. It wasn't about us. I mean, I wanted to name the company after our last name, but it didn't make any sense. I mean, that's traditional thinking, and that's the thing that keeps people broke, in my humble opinion, especially when you're starting out. You have to be different than everyone else. You have to speak directly to them. Make sure when you're starting out, you think of these things. That way you can position your company in a way that you completely stand out from the competition without having to outspend the competition. Tip number 2. Instead of sales, think more in terms of attraction. Now, for some people, they get a bit deer in the headlights when you think about sales, and there's all types of sales books out there, sales strategies, and you're just like, which one do I do to get clients? I don't want you to think in terms of sales. I just want you to think more in terms of attraction. Now, in tip 1, we were talking about being the unicorn. Tip 2, I want to continue that by saying not only is it important to stick out, but it's important to have some qualities about your company and your message and your marketing correspondence and your company values. Like, what is attractive to the person you're trying to reach? So for us, it was, in the beginning, we started primarily doing schools. So we started thinking about our messaging and what types of things would the person who's receiving our marketing correspondence, like what would they find attractive? So we thought about that when we, because like I said, we didn't have the budget to go out there and outspend anybody. So we really had to stick out, and we didn't have the budget to go out and just outspend everybody. So we really had to stick out. And one of the ways we did that is we put together these little campaigns that were as cute and adorable that if we sent it to a dealership, they would have chucked it in the garbage immediately. But when sending it to schools and like nursery schools and daycares, it was like, whoa, what is this? I've never seen this before. And we were getting phone calls in the beginning. Even before we got our first client, we were getting a couple calls like, hey, listen, we don't, we're set. We're in a cleaning contract, but if anything changes, we will call you. That was really adorable, the thing you sent. Things like that get attention because it's all about them. And it made them attracted to us, so we didn't have to hard sell anybody. Didn't even really have to sell at all. So that was the biggest key. So when you're putting your little campaigns together, I want you to think, what is going to get them to call me even if they don't want to work with us? What is going to get them to call and say, hey, that was interesting, or that was unique, or that was adorable even? That's tip 2. And finally, tip number 3. Stay lean and mean. Now, when I first started out with my partner, Jess, and fiance, when we first started together, we didn't have a choice but to stay lean and mean. But in retrospect, looking back, we realized that it was one of the best things that could have happened to our business, because we really got to see firsthand that there were a lot of things that aren't absolutely necessary up front. So $300 is what we were working with, about $290. In that, we had to build in our equipment, we had to build in our marketing, our actual approach to getting clients, and we had to, we had to start up an LLC, and we had to, go make a logo. There were things that we had to do. Now, that could be pretty daunting. That sounds like a daunting task, but it's not. It's really not, especially when you think about in terms of like, what is absolutely necessary right now? I mean, that's the difference right there. Now, yeah, there are a lot of things any business needs to start up, but in the very beginning, you can get away with being super lean and then getting your first client, and then being able to start like getting the other stuff you need. The equipment we started with, none of that was the same equipment we were using like a couple months later when we had clients coming in, right? We just needed to get by. So we didn't need to start with a professional vacuum. We didn't need any of that to start. It's the same thing with a logo. I mean, a logo, we were pretty close, but then we went back and did it when we had more budget. Do you see what I'm saying? The same thing with t-shirts. We didn't need that day one, you know? We didn't need insurance day one. That's another thing. People go out there and get their insurance. Like, you don't need it day one. All you need is to land your first client, know that you're getting money coming in, and then let them know that the day before we start your account for the first time, we will provide you with the insurance that you need. Boom! So because of that, we were able to get our first clients and then get back into do all the other stuff that we needed to do, okay? So do not let that get in the way. You could really start with the bare minimum, and it's by the time you get your first client, you'll be all caught up, okay? So it's really, really important. By the way, if you're interested in learning more about that, let me know in the comments below if you want to know more exactly, like if you want a list of what exactly we got done. Okay, so in conclusion, there are the 3 tips that we use to start our multi-6-figure office cleaning business with less than $300, right? So a quick recap. Tip 1, make yourself a unicorn. Tip 2, attract. You know, don't be aggressive, don't cold call, don't do anything. I mean, listen, if you really want to, go for it, but I'm telling you right now, that is no way to position yourself as the expert. When they come to you because of something about you that brought it out of them, they're going to be willing to pay more, okay? Tip number 3, stay lean and mean. Do not spend all this money getting all this stuff you don't need to begin, okay? Do those things and you can get started right now. You could be 30 days away. You could have a profitable office cleaning business. Because if you stay lean and mean and you get even like a small end account of like $1,000, $2,000 a month, I mean, you're already profitable. Like right out of the gate. Not many businesses can do that. Take it from me. I've started like a zillion businesses to this point in my life and I'm only 31. Okay, so I hope you got massive, massive value from this video. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I put new videos out every single week. You will not want to miss them. Turn on the bell too so you can get notified when these videos come out. If you were interested, I put together a couple resources below the video. One is called 7 Reasons to Start an Office Cleaning Business. It is absolutely free. You can click that link below, get your copy. Also, my 3 secrets to building a multi-6-figure office cleaning business with less than $300. I give you my 3 secrets, halfway to 7 figures. These are the 3 things that I realized that if you do these things, you are gonna be on a great path to doing the very same thing. That is also below the video. Let me know what you thought of the video, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.